We are on Big Creek. It's a beautiful little creek right here in Norfolk County. It goes all the way from Delhi and it'll go right out into the Big Creek National Wildlife Area and from there right out into Lake Erie. It's just so quiet and so peaceful that you can see people's faces just sort of soften within 10 minutes of being out here. I've had a lot of people this summer from the city. One day I came up for a fella, his name was Kelly, and I said, Kelly, how are you doing? And he said, oh my goodness, Leanne, I was the only person for a full minute. Nothing but me and the crickets and the birds, and he loved that experience. He loved that opportunity to do that. It's just beautiful and calm and just very organic out here.
Really enjoying our adventure today. It's nice to get out, get some activity. The weather is perfect. The scenery is gorgeous. The water is a nice temperature. It's fun. Why do I think it's an amazing place? Because there's not a whole lot of places left like this that you can go and enjoy. That's easy to get to. I'm Stacy, and I love the outdoors, and I especially love Long Point because you can feel all the stress just dissipate as you're on your way down here.
Already this morning, we've already had the opportunity to see a bald eagle, a great blue heron, a northern map turtle, and we just seen a raccoon climbing down a tree. Other days I'm out here and I often see mink out here, muskrats, and although I've never seen a beaver, I can tell that they're out here. I'm Leanne, and I absolutely love it out here. I utilize this area for fun, for work, and just for my livelihood. It's a beautiful place to be, and I really enjoy it.
I love bringing my dog for walks. I love walking with my friends. I'm a birder, so I love the birds that come in here and watching them and taking photographs of them.
I walk here just about every season. Love the changes that happen here. Love the progression of wildflowers, progression of insects and different birds that are seen here. It's just a beautiful place to walk. It's peaceful and love to see what's out in the water. Love to see what's up and high in the sky, and just love the place. I'm Len. Love coming here because it's an amazing place to bird and to see insects and wildlife and just to relax. One of our favorite places.
The Port Rowan wetlands are actually quite unique. In the past, sewage from the town of Port Rowan was treated in very rudimentary lagoon system. Forward-thinking Norfolk County Public Works staff advocated for and received funding to build a state-of-the-art water treatment plant. This water treatment plant utilizes membrane bioreactive technology that is so efficient it actually removes bacteria, and the water exiting the plant does not even have to be chlorinated. Consequently, the lagoons were no longer needed and have been restored into a functioning wetland that is a great asset to our community, providing habitat for many forms of wildlife, water purification of stormwater, carbon sequestration, and just as important, many recreational opportunities for our community. Hi, my name is Brian Craig. I'm the president of the Long Point Biosphere Region.
In the fall, when the sandhill cranes come to this area, they fill that field behind us and the field that is on the other side of the wetland here. So it's a spectacular sight to see with hundreds of sandhill cranes coming in. I happened to be on county council at the time that this started. So when the drainage person said that this is what he had in mind, I got so excited and said, yes, let's go for it. Norfolk County was one of the partners. Birds Canada, Long Point Conservation Authority, we all came together along with Ontario Power Generation, TD Friends of the Environment, Long Point Biosphere, and at that time, the Norfolk Land Stewardship Council and the province of Ontario all came together to make this reality.
My name is Betty, and this is an amazing place. Come visit us. This is truly a gem, Port Rowan Wetlands.
When I first drove up, the appeal was immediate that this is an accessible area for anybody with a disability. Anybody with a disability loves to be outside if they can, and they don't like to be housebound. To come out here to a place like the wetlands would be a very nice day out for persons with disabilities. There's nothing better than to be outside, but also just to be able to sit and take in a deep breath and breathe in the fresh air, and it just does make you feel better. Everybody knows that, and this is an important part of persons' lives that are dealing with a chronic disability. I'm David Horton, and I'm the current chair of the Grand Erie chapter of the MS Society of Canada.
If you're touring the Long Point region area and some of the incredible wineries and other destinations in the area, then one of the most incredible places right along your route is the Joseph W. Csubak Memorial Viewing Area right here on Front Road. The Joseph W. Csubak Memorial Viewing Area gives you an incredible view of the inner Long Point Bay and the Turkey Point Marsh. And it's an incredibly popular spot for birding because there's no public access to the marsh down below. During the waterfowl migration season, this is a great place to get a view of some of the birds as they take their flight. Joe Csubak was a member of the Long Point Region Conservation Authority Board for nearly 20 years.
This marsh is a very diverse marsh because it's affected by the water levels and the winds of the Great Lakes. And because of this, you get a vast variety of species and wildlife in it. This location is on the Long Point Birding Trail, which is a great resource for those who just want to learn about birding or are new to birding.
We're at Long Point Bird Observatory, the Western Hemisphere's oldest, largest, and most productive bird observatory, right down here on the shores of Lake Erie and Long Point, Ontario. The Bird Observatory was founded in 1960, and we first started out at the very tip of Long Point, 30 kilometers from where we are now. A couple years later, we established another station about halfway down Long Point. We call that one Breakwater. And then in the 80s, we developed this place here, Old Cut. So now we have 3 stations running concurrently, catching 20 to 30,000 birds a year, and counting millions more free-flying birds migrating past every spring and fall. We get up every morning, catch birds, put bands on them, release them again, and hope somebody else finds those birds in the future. In addition to that, we just count as many free-flying birds as we possibly can. And we've had, over 400 species recorded here at Long Point. And I'd say that the tip of Long Point has had the most species of birds recorded of any single location in all of Canada. The diversity here is pretty impressive. Here's a gray catbird we just took out of the ground trap. Let's see what we can find out about it. curious little bird, catbird, nice and vocal in the lab. All right, let's throw a band on. Different sized bands for different sized birds. And catbird happens to get something called a 1A band. We're going to give it number 2561 38698. No other bird on Earth, well, at least in North America, will have a band with that number on it. So if this catbird is ever found somewhere else by somebody who doesn't know their birds, well, they don't need to know anything about catbirds to report it online or by mail or by phone to the appropriate authorities, and then we'll know something about where this catbird went after it left Long Point and how long it lived for after it left here. Let's try and figure out how old it is. Well, this one's a pretty easy one. It hatched just this spring. I can tell that by the pattern of the feathers on the wing. I see new feathers and old feathers, and I can also see that the eye is a little brown colored. So, I'm going to get Scott here to write down that it's a hatch year. Just checking for how much fat it's carrying, that is to say how much fuel it has for migration. And this one has almost none, just a 1 for fat. So it'll probably stick around here for a few days before it migrates away in one of the coming nights, maybe early next week, onto its next stop on migration. But it's going to have to put on some fat before it does that. So it'll spend some time in the woodlot here, foraging, looking for insects, and maybe visiting our traps again for a little bit of seed to eat. And now let's weigh it. Tip the catbird upside down into this tube. We'll hold it nice and still for our scale. Over here it goes. 39.3 grams. All right, our final step is to release it out the chute here. Every spring and fall, we welcome several thousand volunteers, perhaps 3,000 or 4,000 over the course of those two migration monitoring seasons. We also welcome visitors, at least in a non-COVID year, from all over the world.
It's just one of these few places where you have such a diversity and such huge number of birds coming in all at once. So just the other day I was here and I extracted from the nets more birds in one day than I've ever had in my life. You know, I've been to various banding stations, but I haven't been to one where there's so much collaboration between the local community as well as the universities, because, you know, there's facilities set up for multiple researchers to be doing their work right here with the birds that are captured. So we're getting as much information from as few birds as possible on one of the most important migratory flyways that we have across the continent.
I'm Scott Walters, and I'm a PhD student, and I'm excited to be here at Long Point because it's really expanding my ability to safely work with birds.
No doubt about it, this is one of the most ecologically significant and exciting places to be a biologist, that's for sure. We welcome visitors, birders that really love birds, and they're here just for the birds, and also lots of people, campers in the provincial park who don't necessarily know anything about birds, but they see a sign on the road and they stop in, and this is a great opportunity to just educate them. To me, the Long Point Biosphere Reserve is, just this incredible parcel of biodiversity, and it's really unmatched by virtually anywhere else in the country. I can think of a few other places I've visited that might come close, but nothing is quite as special as this place. The numbers of birds, the numbers of species at risk that I can see here on a daily basis that are rare virtually everywhere else in the province, it's a pretty incredible thing. My name is Mark Conboy, and I'm the program manager at Long Point Bird Observatory. I used to be the program manager at Long Point Bird Observatory. I left for 2 years, and I loved it so much that I came back to do it again. I think that tells you how amazing this place is.
Mm-hmm.